Hey guys, Hobo here. How's it going? Feeling okay today. Feeling a little down about the comments I've gotten. Like people just take their time to poke fun at my uses of the word or That's just the way I talk, and it is what it is. Doing the best I can. But anyway, so I'd like to talk about the possibility of getting a dog, a companion, a loyal friend. I've thought about this over the years, and like when I first became homeless, I was like, trying to get a job that would work for me, and at the time I was like, well, I don't want to, have to go to a job and leave the dog at my campsite or whatever for, and and then also going into stores or going to the library, would I be able to bring the dog with me? So there are definitely some challenges that I would need to face going into it. But I thought about it, and I was like, I would like a companion, maybe a little older. Getting a dog as a puppy, you don't know how intelligent it's going to be, or what kind of issues it's going to have. And I remember my ex-wife, so we had a black pug, and then she went out and got a fawn pug. And the thing is that the black pug was super intelligent, The fawn pug was just dumber than a box of rocks. And, I would have a problem with an animal that was just dumb, So getting an animal as a puppy, you can train it and all that stuff. I would prefer an animal that is maybe one that was rescued, and one that not too old, but one that has a gentle temperament starting out. Can be around children, can be around other animals, doesn't bark very much, stuff like that. But me and my buddy Larry were talking to Marco Polo about this, and he brought up some concerns. So basically, for me, the temperament plays a big part, but it's hard to find, and there are other concerns. So, like, what would the age be? He said, get an animal fairly young, so you don't have to break up with bad habits. What breed? And I got to thinking about that. I would like a pit bull, but that's not necessary. I mean, I like having a short-haired dog, right? But at the same time, I like Australian shepherds, right? I think they're really pretty, especially the ones that are all, they look like they're put together from the pieces and parts of, other animals, where they have like a bright blue eye, and then, just their fur is all like they were somebody put together a whole bunch of mismatched Legos, and they're pretty smart, and so I thought about that. Maybe like a blue heeler or something. That's a pretty dog. I like that. I like the mutt look, because it's like their camouflage almost. But there would be some things to consider. Barking, that would be a problem, right? Especially if it barked all the time. When you're out under a bridge or something and you're walking, you're sleeping under a bridge for the night, first of all, it's going to let you know if anybody's out there. It's going to let you know if, other animals and things like that. But at the same time, barking could be excessive, and if you're trying to stay stealth and the dog's barking its head off, that's a problem. Having the wet dog smell, my buddy brought it up. He's like, a lot of homeless people who have dogs are basically only as clean as their dog, because their dog is sleeping with you, it's getting in the mud, you can try to maintain a good level of cleanliness, but basically you're only as clean as the dog, really. And, having that wet dog smell all the time. I don't know, I'm fairly fastidious, and I have a large nose, and, I don't know. Would I be able to get used to that? I don't know. There would be problems with like vet bills. You know, I know that you can put that stuff on the back of their neck for the fleas, and that has worked in my experience. But like, if a dog got fleas real bad, that would be a real problem for me. I mean, I don't think that would be a case. I would take really good care. But then there might be other bills that I have to consider. And I'm not really made of money nowadays. In fact, I'm lucky. Basically, the way my video content works is I'm lucky from the YouTubes if I make $100 a month. And then I've got like a Patreon subscriber or 3, which is nice, but it's not, it's not guaranteed. My Patreon subscribers could at any point just stop and be like, we don't want to support you anymore, So the only money I really make is from YouTube that I can count on, right? And so I don't know if that's not really not enough to maintain. I mean, I could get the stuff done that I need done for the dog, but like shots and stuff, they're fairly cheap. But I don't know. It's a worry and it's a concern. Also, like, how would the dog be in town? My buddy was like, if you're going to be in town with the dog, even if you're homeless, get like one of those muzzle type things, so things that cover their mouth, so that because even a polite dog and a good dog can be tempted by an unruly child to nip at them or bite them, you know what I mean? Or another dog comes up and but you want to cover all the bases. But like going into the store, like that's some, if I had like a toy dog, I could just put it in my pocket, right? Or put it up on into the cart or whatever. But anything bigger, I don't really want a toy dog. The thing is the toy dog has its benefits. It's like, it's small, it's utility, it provides an early warning system, doesn't eat too much, and is, it does provide like an early warning system. It's not going to protect you from anything, but it's not really why you get a dog, I guess. Just pretty much an early warning system, companion, and that would be the reason to get a toy dog, right? Or a smaller animal. But like going into stores, going to the library and stuff like that, if I had a small dog, I could get one of those backpack pet carrier things, and that would be that, that way I could take the dog with me everywhere, right? But that's something. My buddy said that, if I got an animal and I went to like a psychiatrist and stuff and be like, hey, when I have this dog, it's really helping me. Do you think I could get like an emotional support animal vest type deal or paperwork? And that might be an option, I think. Maybe. I'd prefer not to worry about it. I don't go to the doctor for the most part. And I just don't like it. The thing is most homeless people, they avoid the doctor and the hospitals like the plague, right? But the problem is that most homeless people probably need those services more than others. It's just a weird kind of oxymoron type deal. And then I'm thinking, okay, so my deal would be is I'm going to be walking down the coast, and I could, have the dog walk beside me, and I could make sure it's not going to jump out of the road. But like, what about having like a doggy backpack? I've seen a lot of people get mad at people for having a dog carrying their own load, What about a leash? Like, I would prefer to go, like I saw this one gutter punk couple that was hiking down the road at one point, and the dog was just walking along, very well trained, looked tired, and I guess walking on the side of the road, there's a lot of detritus there, so I'd be worried about their paws. I know I'm just like throwing up all this information for you, but it's things that I'm considering, and I know there's special interest groups, especially with animals, and they'd be like, hey man, you're not treating your dog well. You're abusing it by making it live this life. What about getting a male or a female dog? Like, what are the? I think I'd prefer a female, just because I'm, I don't know, just preference, I guess. But their intellect plays the biggest part, I think, of getting a dog. And like I said, I would need to do a meet and greet with animals, maybe a humane society or shelter or something like that. I don't know which breed is best. Like I said, there are dogs that I like, and in the past I've always liked the big dogs. I've liked the Great Pyrenees or Rottweilers. I like Rotties. I think they can have a really good personality and gentle and stuff. I don't know, but I think that would be too large of a dog, and like I don't want like a stupid dog, but at the same time, I don't want a super intelligent psycho dog like a German Shepherd, right? Seriously, I had a buddy that had a German Shepherd, and the German Shepherd was forbidden to go into the garage for some reason, and my buddy would work in the garage, and the dog would just sit down, lay down right in front of the threshold of the door, and but I'd watch it every now and again, and when my buddy was actively working and not pay attention to the dog would take its paw and just put it directly over the threshold, just hold it there, and as soon as my buddy would look up, he'd take the paw and move it back. I mean, that's not the kind of dog that I want. That's kind of a little too intelligent, a little too psychotic, that's not cool, wondering how much vet care is, as far as a general rule of thumb, like a yearly amount. I mean, I could probably save up for it, but if there was any kind of accident, I would be kind of, and I know they have like vet, like insurance type stuff, like so you could pay monthly to ensure that you have money for anything that comes up. I don't know. Not sure what that. Not sure about that. And like I've known people with dogs, and they are super well trained, and I know that requires a lot of hands-on type stuff. And the fact is I would be. I know I was reading at one point that in Norway or something like that, they had these ponies that developed like this empathic bond. I forgot. It's up there in the northern Icelandic regions or whatever, Norway, and I read about, they basically, since the humans, the people like relied so much on their animal, and the animal relied so much on them, they developed this sort of empathic, almost telepathic bond with each other. And I feel like the same would be true of living day in and day out with an animal. But like there's other things, there's concerns, right? Like how much, would I just carry around a big can of, or a big bag of dog food? Would I feed it human food from time to time? If I had a toy dog and I've got myself a cart, I could just get like a pet carrier and put that like on the cart, and the dog could chill when it wanted to, or it could walk when it wanted to, And, going forward, I don't want to be at a place where I'm like here, I've been here for 2 years now, and I don't like that. I want to be, I guess I want to move on, like stay somewhere for a couple of months, sure, but then move on. I don't want to. This whole thing of staying in one place, it hasn't done me any good. I mean, sure, the depression played a big part with me staying here for that first year, especially second year somewhat, but like I don't want to stay in one place anymore. I want to move around and stuff like that. So having a dog, an early warning system, and a pal that I can kind of talk to. So when I talk out loud, I'm not just talking to myself anymore. I'm talking, I'm not crazy. I have a dog. And so that would be nice. But also having a companion, that would be nice. And I don't know. There are some optics with having a YouTube channel, having a dog, I guess, that play a very small part. Like I wouldn't get an animal, a day in day out live-in animal, just for an extra few views on YouTube. No way. But if I was already considering getting an animal, that would be a little cherry on top, I guess. But I do want it. I do want a dog. But there are, like I said, there are challenges, like the barking thing. How do you train a dog not to bark? The thing is I had a dog years ago, and I went to like the Pet Smart training thing, and I learned some basics. But I would want to know, like, specifically, like how do I train a dog, and like and there would be like having like a muzzle type thing for when we're going to town. My buddy mentioned like a little collar that had a strap that would go around their nose and their snout, so that maybe it was around their nose, but when you pulled on it just a little bit, it brings their nose down. They don't like that, so usually they're gonna stop, and that'll keep them from trying to take off with the kind of people you see that the dog is always trying to run off like Marmaduke, right? And they're pulling their owner everywhere. I don't like that, but I want like a companion, and I think that maybe just having an animal that I'm living in with day in and day out, would mind me maybe a little bit more than not. That somebody spend maybe an hour a day interacting with your dog and just being around. This would be somebody that be my companion, and so I'm thinking about it, and I'm I haven't made any decisions. And the other thing is, or I guess the same thing. What breed? What's the best breed for? I want an intelligent dog, but not psycho intelligent. I prefer big. I like having big dogs, but that's not tenable. Long hair, not going to work. I know the Australian Shepherd, I guess a medium hair maybe, but and I guess that's not like a deal breaker, but I would prefer short hair. That's just easier to maintain and all that. I don't know. What do you guys think the best breed is out there for this sort of lifestyle? For this sort of lifestyle choice. I'll probably end up with a mutt or something. But I don't know. I'm thinking about, like, having a hobo dog would be nice, and I know there's going to be a lot of haters out there, a lot of liberals being, like I was watching this one video of this chick that goes up to a homeless guy, and it was staged, you could tell, but they're like, I'm going to call that you're neglecting, you're abusing your animal, and that sort of thing. But right now, as it stands, like, getting I could get a job, maybe I could get a job like cleaning windows, maybe, that would be an option, but actually, like, working at Taco Bell or something, that's not going to work for me. I have some physical issues that, disqualify me for that, and I still have the depression. I've been doing a lot better lately, but the depression plays a huge part of my life. And so if I'm going to be homeless, and, I'll try to do the YouTube stuff, and, I'd have a companion to do that with, and that would be a lot of times there's a loneliness that pervades my life, you know, and so having a companion would be cool. But you guys tell me, like, what breed would be good, what male or female, any, you know, if you have any suggestions about, like, you know, or if you have an animal, you're homeless, like, let me know, like, what are the ups and downs, what are some hurdles maybe I haven't even thought about. I'm interested to know. Anyway, I hope your road's a good one, and if you're homeless, I hope it doesn't suck for you. Take care.